What up, YouTube? So recently it's been brought to my attention by myself that I think I might be a man child. Here's why I don't think that's such a bad thing. Okay, so I'm 33, single, don't have any kids. Um, I'm making pretty good money. It's not what I want, but I'm in the 80s to 90s right now as far as how much I make annually. Next year, 2026, from January to December, that could crack 100 just by doing what I'm doing at my job or whatever. So the money's there, but the other things aren't there. Not to mention, I'm living on the couch with family right now. Um, I'm paying off debt. I'm almost done. I'm just about done. I'm like at the end of paying off debt. But I don't. I'm in my 30s. I'm in like coming into my mid 30s now, 33. So I'm in that gray area between early 30s or mid 30s. I'm gonna just go ahead and say I'm mid 30s. I'm not gonna try to be that dude who's trying to cling on to like being younger. It's like, no, dude, you're 33, you're headed towards 34, 35. You're in your mid 30s, okay? Single, no kids, not married. Never been married, right? Never even had like a real, actual long term relationship. I've just had like flings. Like I'm, you know, sleeping around with this chick for a little bit and then it dies off and that's that, right? And that hasn't happened a lot. Been single pretty much most of my life. But here's the thing. Some dudes what I noticed is like this trolling. They'll be like, "Oh, you need to get a girlfriend. You need to get a girlfriend or whatever." And here's what I really think. Hold on. I'm going to set up this light so I could put my hand down. I should have did this before I started this fucking video. That's cool right there. So, here's my response to that, okay? Some dudes out there, this is what I've noticed, all right, of dudes who absolutely need to be in a relationship to the point where they'll literally date a woman that you know that they're not attracted to, that they're just dating her because they don't want to be alone. Like there's guys out there who need to be in a relationship because they can't stand the thought of being alone, of not being in any relationship. So they'll go from dating like for a few years like they'll go from dating like eights, nines, and tens, like dude, I've seen dudes who back in the day they used to pull really hot trim, and then all of a sudden they start dating women that a few years ago they would have laughed at you for dating, like they would have made fun of you for dating the woman that they're dating now. Okay, what does that tell you? And then like if you go back in their history and you really analyze this person, you'll be like, you know what? I haven't seen this dude single for a long period of time. Like as long as I've known this guy, he's always had a girlfriend. He's always been in a relationship. And it's like, and then those are the dudes that every now and then they'll throw like jokes or jabs or shade at you for like being single, especially if you're the type of dude who's been single like me pretty much for most of my life. They'll make fun of you for it or whatever. But then you look at them and they're like the opposite. They're always in a relationship. Okay. I don't necessarily think that's a flex. I think actually it's a flex to have the capability to be single. Now, I'm not saying to live and die single. Okay. You should date. You should, have flings or sleep around with chicks or get married or get into a relationship or whatever. Like you should date. At the bare minimum, you should date. Now, whether you want to take it a step further and get married and have kids, that's your choice. But nevertheless, dating is something that you should do. I mean, you're a human being. You should experience life to its fullest potential. Okay. But you don't necessarily need to do that. Like, you don't need to get married. You don't need to be in a relationship. You don't need to date someone. These are things that you want to do, but you don't need to do. Like, what you need to do is you need to have food, shelter, money in the bank, clothes on your back. Um, like I'm living with family right now, but I'm paying for it. You know what I mean? I'm paying rent, and I'm to the point where I'm about ready to leave. I feel like I'm starting to get too comfortable living with family, and I don't want to fall into that. I feel like I'm already there, right? Um, but it never really occurred to me. Like I don't wake up and be like, you know what, I need a girlfriend. Like me being single, it's not like an itch that I need to scratch. It's not something that's like gnawing at me. A lot of these dudes who are always in relationships, it is something that gnaws at them. And that's why you see them sometimes like instead of being single, they'll be in a bad relationship. They'll be dating women that they really have no business dating, that are just bad for them. They'll settle for women that they're not really attracted to because it's better than just being single, right? I've seen it. But why do I feel like a man child? Okay. And here's the thing, that's the relationship aspect. And I guess really what it comes down to is, when it comes to a relationship, I guess I'm just really stingy. Okay. Number one, I've become content with being single to the point where if, the chick that I'm dealing with, if she's too problematic, I don't really have patience like that. And not saying that like I flip out or whatever, but what I've noticed about myself is I'm quick to just end it. I'm quick to just like walk away. If she's really hot, I might, like I've done this before. Like I've noticed, always notice what you do. It's one thing to talk about what you would do. What you really have to do is notice what you actually do in life, right? Like, dude, if a chick's really hot and I'm dating her, I've like kind of like broken up with chicks, and then like a few weeks later, I hit them up again, and be like, man, but dude, dude, I was almost there, right? So let me try it one more time. Set up a date, and it just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? But the man child thing, I don't know. Just because we're older, are we like all NPCs? Like as a man, do you absolutely need to be in a relationship? And by being in a relationship, you're one step closer to proposing and getting married and having kids and buying a house and having the white picket fence and a dog and all that. Is that shit actually necessary to be a man? And if you don't have all that shit, are you a man child? And let's say that's the case. Let's say you are a man child. Let's say society looks at men like me, um, or even guys who have a lot of money, guys who drive nice cars, have nice apartments or houses or whatever, but they don't have a family to go with it. It's just like them living in the house and they're like a bachelor or whatever. Whether it's a bachelor or someone who's just like, might even be like financially struggling, because we're all at different levels. But if you don't have like the checklist, if you don't have the house, the wife, white picket fence, the dog, the the Toyota Sienna or the Honda soccer mom van and your little like sports car that's parked in the garage and the pickup truck, you know, if you don't have all that shit, or let's say even like you're divorced, but you still got your kids and you still take care of your kids and all that. Let's say you're just single and you don't have kids and you're not married and you've never been married. Does that make you a man child? Maybe. Honestly, maybe. It might actually make you a man child. But the thing that I've kind of been contemplating with is this is like, is it a bad thing to be a man child? Like, sure, that that name right there, a man child, it's going to be looked down on by a lot of people. But is it really a bad thing? Because think about it. The equivalent of you not having kids, and say you're someone like me, you make pretty good money, but you just don't have kids and you're not married. Now, I'm not against doing that. I'm not. But honestly, maybe I am against it. I mean, this is something me and one of my homeboys talk about all the time, dude. It's kind of like when I was in elementary. I remember this. I remember these conversations with my friends in elementary school. When I was in elementary, this is why I feel like I am a man child, is because when I was in elementary school, when I was in grade school, right? Like out of preschool, after preschool, you go to elementary school, or whatever. I remember me and my friends would be talking, and this is how smart we were, and this is how aware we were that life is going to suck once we grow up. We would be talking about how miserable the life of our parents look, like how they have to go to work and drop us off at school and pick us up from school and then pay bills and fucking buy food like groceries and cook and clean and do all this shit and then take care of us, the way that our parents would do, like the way our parents, they raise you and shit and they go to work to pay for it. We would always talk about how much that's going to suck when we grow up. We were little kids talking about, you know what, this being a kid thing, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty cool being a little kid. Think about it, dude. We come to school, we do whatever we want, we play, we go home after homework, we go back outside and we play some more. On the weekends, we go out and we play. We pretty much do whatever the fuck we want to do for the most part. As long as we're not fucking up too bad and we're not getting sent home and being on detention too much, as long as we're walking that thin line with our parents and we're not getting into too much trouble, this being a kid stuff, it ain't so bad. It's going to suck once we're an adult. It's going to suck once we have to go out and get a job and provide for a family and do all that. Like, that shit sucks. I remember one of my friends told me, he was like, he would say this all the time. He's like, dude, my dad looks so fucking miserable. And that's going to suck when one day that's going to be me. He would say that, right? And at the age of 33, that's the way me and one of my homeboys, we talk about this shit pretty much every time we were on the phone, right? He'll be dating some chick and then he has to like stop dating her because she started to hit him with like the ultimatum and like the, what are we and um, what's next for us and are you going to stop seeing other women and are we going to become exclusive and when am I going to move in or when are you going to move in and like when are we going to take our relationship to the next level? And then that's usually when my homeboy would call me up, when he calls me up, tell me that, dude, again, it happened again. I had to stop dating this chick again, dude. And I just start laughing. And, we both talk about it and we're like, yeah, she wants dada. She wants dada to come take care of her, you know? Um, and like we start talking about this shit and we're like, dude, being single, like it's just like when I was in elementary school and me and my friends were talking about how miserable the life of our parents look, of how miserable it must be to be an adult. Me and my homeboy talk about that, talk about being married the same way that me and my friends used to talk about how bad it's going to suck to grow up. We'd be on the phone, we'd be talking about like, dude, look at some of these married guys. Not all of them, but look at most of them. Don't they look so fucking miserable? And not just the husbands, but the wives. Don't they just look fucking miserable? Like this whole thing, like when you get married, the sex stops. When you get married, you guys can't go out on dates as much as like when you guys have kids and shit. Like you guys got to get babysitters and now you got to pay for the kids. Now you got to get a bigger house, right? And then there's this thing where these women, even as fucked up as our country is now, as expensive and unaffordable it is, a lot of women still want to be stay-at-home wives, even though that's just unattainable nowadays. If you're going to be realistic, the only place you could probably be a stay-at-home wife and get away with it is like in the Midwest, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, in the states where not a lot of people want to live. But and then check it out. And then if you go to those states, you still might not be able to afford to be a stay-at-home wife. Because yeah, it's a lot cheaper to live in Michigan, but you also don't make shit in Michigan. So I guess if you're like an over-the-road truck driver, then it's all the same. You can go move wherever you want. And maybe you do have a stay-at-home wife. But for the most part, dude, a lot of these women, as expensive and, the housing crisis and the unaffordability of America, they still have it in their mind that they're going to be a stay-at-home wife. And no, dude, you need to go get a job. But me and my homie, we be talking about, nah, dude, they don't want to get a job. They want dada. Dada, take care of me, dada. I want dada. Dada, I want dada. You know, I don't want to be dada. I'm cool with being a man child, man. I'm cool with it. I'm cool, dude. If I came across the right woman one day, and I was very attracted to her, and not just the attraction, but she was actually just a cool person to be with. I wouldn't put it like I wouldn't say no to getting married and having kids. I wouldn't say no. I'm not pushing for it. I'm definitely not going out seeking the shit out. But if it like lands in my lap one day and it's with someone who I actually enjoy, like this woman's company past the bedroom, like she's actually a cool person to be with, you know? Yeah, I wouldn't say no, but I'm definitely not like seeking it. Like there's dudes out there that that literally go out and like try to find that shit. There's dudes out there that literally put in a lot of work on these dating apps. And like they're literally like scrolling and swiping and sending messages, and it's like, God damn, dude, how do you have time for all this shit, man? I work so much. I'm at work so much. I guess the main reason why I don't really put in that much work into dating is because number one, I just don't really have the time for this shit. I'm always at work. To make good money, you gotta be at fucking work. Secrets out. But, you know, when I do get my own spot, I'm content with just only me living in that spot. I don't feel like I need to share my bed with some chick for the rest of my fucking life, dude. I mean, think about getting married. Like this is what we talk about all the time. Me and my homeboy. We're like, dude, so we're gonna get married, right? Like to some chick, and then every time we turn our head, she's gonna be just like right fucking there, just in the house. Like she's just gonna be right there. Like, dude, you go to bed, she's right there. You wake up, she's right there. You go and take a shit, you open the door, she's right there. You go in the kitchen, she's right there. You come home from work, she's right there, dude. It's like, dude, I need a break. I need a break. Like, if that's what being married is, no wonder why the sex stops. No wonder why everything stops, you know? Because, dude, I got to spend the rest of my life with just one person, and I got to see this motherfucker like every day. I got to really like someone like that. I got to really like that motherfucker for me to put up with their shit 365 days a year. It'll probably get to the point where I can't wait to go to work. Or be like, oh, dude, I've been at home with this chick all day. When does my shift start? Jesus Christ. You know? Something like that. Single? You don't got to worry about that. You're single, you're not married, you don't got no kids. Oh, dude, then you got kids on top of it. You got the kids like running around, screaming, breaking shit, getting into fights, making each other cry. Dude, I got a sister who, she raised two boys, and now she's raising another kid, right? Like she's raising a baby all over again. And I called her the other day, like 2 months ago, because just to see what it's, I was like, hey, dude, so what's it like being a parent all over again? She was like, oh, it's hard. It's hard. And because like online, she posts like family pics with the baby and all that. And real cute kid, cute pictures. But I get her on the phone, like, yeah, so how's it going, dude? She's like, oh. I'm like, no shit, huh? She's like, yeah, dude, like I ain't sleeping no more. Nothing, man. It's just like I'm back to square one, doing this shit all over again. I'm like, fuck. Dude, I'm not waiting to sign up for that shit anytime, dude. Just like when I was in elementary school and me and my friends be talking to each other. It's like, yeah, it's gonna suck to be an adult. Me being single and by myself and not having to answer to a woman, not having kids. And because of that, I don't got to get some like big ass house with a mortgage and a soccer mom van. And you know what I mean? And like all this shit, right? I'm not, dude, that looks terrible. That looks terrible. That looks like torture, right? Look, I'm not knocking anyone. Like if that's what you need out of life to feel like you're living a fully fulfilled life, you need your stay-at-home wife who's going to nag you from time to time, especially when you leave the toilet seat up. If you need kids, a house, a white picket fence, if you need all that, do you. You know what I've noticed from being broke for so long? I've noticed that I'm really a simple man. I like money. I love money. I love making a lot of money. I love spending money. I do. I love stacking money and investing. Like, I love all that shit. But for the past few years, I've been kind of broke, dude. Not gonna lie. Most of my life, I've been broke. Like, I'm just now coming into some money with my career. But what being broke taught me, it taught me a lot about myself. It taught me that I can endure, and it taught me that I don't really need a lot of shit. I don't need a wife, big ass house, a car to be happy in life and to feel content in life. I'm cool with going out and doing stuff by myself. I'm cool with being single. And if that makes me a man child, then I guess I'm guilty as charged. No one's called me a man child. It's just for some reason, dude, because I'm getting older, I feel like I'm like my peers have like passed me up. You know what I'm saying? I got a few friends who are in my same boat, who are single, don't have kids or whatever. And every now and then, even my homies who like do date a lot of chicks or whatever, but they're just not settling down with these broads. Some of them even tell me like, dude, everyone I know, everyone I know in my town, because me and my friends like we're kind of spread out or whatever. Some of us, they bring it up too, like, dude, everyone I know, like I don't got no wingman to go out with. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone over here is married and shit, right? I'm like, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Like, you think you're far behind in life? Go to your homeboy's house who's married and shit. Dude, I went to my homeboy's house not too long ago. His his girl's staying there, and what do they got? Like I think they got like one kid or two kid. There was only one kid there when I went, and it was like, dude, my homeboy is like he's a big old dude. He's big, right? He would fuck some shit up. He's a big ass dude, right? But when his girl came home, it was like I was like, oh, okay. I see who's like the alpha male right here. It's her. Dude, like, yeah, you're gonna kick someone's ass, but she's running shit. As soon as she walked in the door, it was like, oh, hey, yeah, you remember Augustine, right? Just the way he said it, it was kind of like he was explaining himself a little bit. It's like, I'm sorry, I got company over. I'm sorry. No, dude, I'm good off that shit. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Be sure to smash the like button on this video. I feel like a man child, but you know what? I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool. If you're a bachelor, if you're in your 30s or 40s and you're not married with kids, you're kind of a man child. But you know what? It's not that big of a deal. Thumbnail action. It's not that big of a deal. Peace out.